Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on this orange red eye look without any lashes, so I hope you guys enjoy. So today I'm going to start off with my e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. This is a pretty thick, dry eye primer, so I like to go in with a brush. This is the Sephora Collection concealer brush. So I'm just gonna try to get a little bit of product onto the brush, and then I'm going to start blending that out onto my lid. As you can see, I'm not going to be completely covering my eye. You'll still be able to see a little bit of my veins and my redness. I don't want to apply too thick of a layer of this primer just because it is so dry, and I don't want to create a thick dry layer on my lids before I go in with shadow. Today I'm going to use the Ace Beauty Scarlet Dusk palette. This palette is really user-friendly. The shadows aren't overly pigmented, so I think this is great for a beginner. So I'm going to first go into the shade Sunset Rose with this very fluffy blending brush. All the brushes that I use today I'm going to list down in the description bar below. So I'm just going to start building up that shadow in my crease area. I'm not going to be really particular with it since this is mostly just a transition shade. And like I said, this palette is pretty user-friendly, so it's not going to be overly pigmented to the point where you have fallout everywhere and the shadow just gets everywhere in your face. Now I'm going to go into the shade Crimson with a smaller blending brush and just start going straight into the crease and focus on the crease. I'm going to be a little more particular with the placement of this shadow, so I'm just going to go back and forth in my crease. I just want to mention that this is what works for my eye shape. Obviously everyone's eye shape is different. If you have hooded eyes, I will link down below an Alyssa Ashley video. She does a really great tutorials for anyone who happens to have hooded eyelids. So now I'm going to go in with the original brush and shade that we used, and I'm just going to use that to blend out that more deeper color that we added to just make sure that everything is super seamless. Next, I'm going into the shade Shade with a more densely packed brush, and I'm going to start applying that on the outer corner of my lid. This shade, although is deeper in the pan, isn't that much more pigmented than the previous shade, so you won't see it that much, but it will add just the lightest amount of definition into the outer corner. But again, it's going to be very light, nothing too dramatic, so it's going to be very user-friendly and pretty easy to do without overblowing it. Next, I'm going to go into this shade Hibiscus with a more flat yet still fluffy definer brush. I'm going to concentrate this color on the outer corner of the lid and just leave about the inner third of the lid still without any shadow. Next, I'm going to flip the brush and use the shade Aruba and start filling in the inner corner of the eye. I'm going to start dragging the shade closer to that shade Hibiscus and then flip the brush to start blending them out together. Once I have built that shade on my lid, I'm going to slowly start bringing it up towards the crease to kind of give it a cut crease effect. As you can see, I'm dragging my brush up my crease and kind of following the natural fold of my lid. Next, I'm going to take this really flat, precise brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm going to mix these two shades from my Milani Matte Basics palette, and I'm going to start creating almost a wing with it. Instead of using a liquid liner, using a powdered shadow is a lot easier of a way to create a wing. So I'm going to start stamping it slowly and then slowly start dragging that shade out to create that wing. This is a really great technique if you're not used to doing wing liner because you don't have to be as precise. If you make any mistakes, you can kind of blend it out instead of having to wipe it off completely. It also serves as a really great way to kind of learn your eye shape and what complements your eye shape the best, because you can kind of adjust as you go and you don't have to be as careful not to do such a harsh line. You're not going to create such a harsh line off the bat. You're going to slowly build up that color and therefore slowly build up that shape, whatever that shape may work for your eyelid the best. You don't necessarily have to use a brush like this that's kind of rounded and flat. You can also use one that's a little more pointed to slowly build it up. However, it will take a lot more time to build that up when it comes to a shadow. As you can see, I'm slowly bringing it out with the tip of that brush and then dragging it out to make sure that there's a nice soft yet precise wing. If anything I'm saying like doesn't make sense, like please let me know in the comments below. Like I've done this so many times, so for me, I know how to do it, but let me know if I'm explaining this right. Right now I'm blending out with that original deeper shade that I use in the outer corner to kind of soften up the line because I feel like I made it a little too thick. And then I take a big fluffy brush to wipe off any excess powder that I have or any excess shadow that might have fallen. So I'm going to start smoking out the lower lash line with the shade Crimson and the shade Shade. I'm usually not super precise with this part. I'm usually really lazy by the time I get here, so I just take 2 shades and kind of mix them up. Then I'm going to take my Too Faced Damn Girl mascara and start building up my lashes. For today, I'm not putting on any fake lashes. I wanted to make sure that this look was easy, user-friendly, yet really nice, bright, and colorful, so it has a lot of impact without having too much effort. So this is the look so far. Again, nice, bright, with a lot of impact, but since we use techniques that are not super complicated, we were able to get that effect without putting in all that work. So now I'm applying that second layer of mascara to create that fake lash effect. I'm now going in with the Thrive Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Ruth and just start lining my lips. This shade is really nice, bright, corally, but still nude enough that it doesn't distract from the eyes, nor does it overwhelm the entire look. Next, I'm going to go in with the Fenty Stunner Lip Paint in the shade Unbutton. It's probably one of my favorite nudes to kind of dye down the really bright lip liner. So it's still going to match the tone of the eyes, but without distracting from it or, making the look a little too intense with too much, bright oranges and pinks. Just gonna blend that out real quick, and yeah, so that's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Everything will be listed down below in the description box, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!